Right, welcome to the very first episode of Fuck the Fitness Industry podcast. Got a very special guest today, Mr. Paul Daly. Paul is going to be our guest
presenter. I guess,
guest presenter. Even though it's the first episode, and I guess people would expect me to present a first episode, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Paul Daly.
Okay, so I'm here to find out a little bit about you and about what this podcast is about. So, why fuck the fitness industry? Like, you're in the fitness industry yourself.
Yes,
so,
I'm in the fitness industry.
So
yeah.
why fuck it?
Why fuck the fitness industry? You know, I started this journey back in 1990 something. 95, maybe 94, 95. I was around about 18 when I first joined the gym. And as you do, you join the gym, and my brothers were always into staying fit, karate, boxing mainly. Bro, Dave also worked out, so I remember he passed a few fitness magazines down. And from the very first magazine I read, you straight away you're bombarded with things that are just not true. Mm-hmm. No, so if you pick up, as you say, I'm a collector of old magazines, fitness industry magazines. Every single one of the magazines is not, there's lies littered throughout that magazine, lies. And to be honest, it's got no better, it's actually got worse with the rise of the internet. An industry that could be doing so much to help what is a real crisis amongst people right now, which is obesity. Fuck the fitness industry is because an industry that can be doing so much is actually failing people massively.
So, like, you know, we're in your gym now.
We are.
Your gym now, and it's a cracking gym, and I'm a client here, I guess.
Yes.
Client, is that the right word?
Client, friend.
Yeah. Client, friend,
we
member.
don't call them members, do we? Members, like, gyms have members, like, no, we don't do members.
Yeah, gym family. So I'm part of the gym family here. And it's been really interesting for me, and what you do is different from what other people do. So you started this gym and everything, and you've got this different process. I think you focus a lot on the mental side of it. Funnily enough,
this all leads into why fuck the fitness industry, because the fitness industry sells complete and utter BS from start to finish. And whether that's, if we're going to talk about, we've got an obesity crisis now, and the reason that I want this podcast to be different is because when you listen to the other podcasts, they're the same mundane, monotonal, boring shite of diets, workouts. And to really help somebody, because of the journey that I've been on myself, as you know, and now as you know, it wasn't a diet and a workout that was ever going to transform you. It was never a diet and a workout that was going to take you from the place you were to the place you are now. You know that yourself. This is my message to others. This is why I fuck the fitness industry, because the fitness industry, like I said, it's getting things massively wrong. Massively wrong.
Okay, so before we go into what the fitness industry is getting wrong, I've got my own opinions on that, about what they're actually trying to do, and basically I'm sure we'll get onto the fact that it's probably more to make money than it is to help people.
Yeah, everyone's got an angle.
But let's talk about what your journey is, because people won't know what you've gone through. Obviously, like you're fit and healthy, but you've gone through a variety of stages where you've...
It's funny, because I knew we were doing this today, so I was thinking about this morning. And you think, like, where I've come from, so... I was born into poverty. No, let's be complete now. So I was born into poverty where I come from. We had very little growing up. Other than I had amazing parents, I was a very thin child, and I guess being born into poverty and you don't have much, like in my neighbourhood. When we look back now, if we look at childhood obesity, there was no obesity when we were kids compared to how it is now. But no, because of various things, which I'm sure we'll get into. But we didn't have much. I was a very thin child. Love sport, always loved sport. I ended up getting expelled from school when I was 14. At 14 I weighed 8 stone. So my dad said, you're not going to roam around the streets causing havoc, becoming a tearaway. He bought me an old weed weight training bench. Came with a plastic weight you used to have sand in. So Dad bought me a weight training bench, said, listen, when we were young, we all exercised, and it taught us discipline and routine. And he said, so that's what I want you to do. He said, you're going to work out every day, and you're not leaving this house until you've worked out. So that got me into working out. At 18, I then went and joined the gym. I was still only 10 stone. So I joined gym when I was 18. Still very thin, 10 stone, like it literally pinched my skin, I was that thin. And then I fell in love with bodybuilding. I seen a picture of Dorian Yates saying he just won his first Mr. Olympia. And it was a picture in the Sunday People. And as these newspapers do, especially like towards bodybuilding, they were trying to mock him for the way he looked and how big he was. And they had a page 3 girl comment that if she stuck a pin in me, he would deflate. That type of crap. But I seen this guy that just stood there, and he looked strong, he looked dense and thick muscled. Like, I looked at the guy and just thought, I'm this skinny kid, I want to look like him. Well, I'm growing into a man now, I want to look like him. So I fell in love with bodybuilding. Took quite well to bodybuilding, seemed to put a lot of muscle on really quickly.
Despite your thin wrists, because I always like that story.
Yeah.
Tell me about your thin wrists.
So I walked into a powerlifting club. This is the first gym I started. It was Park Road Powerlifting Club, and it was literally like, there was a doorway on the street that lit this first floor building, and it was pitch black, and you walked up these stairs, and I'm not kidding you, you could hear the banging and clanging in this gym, and you open the door and you got this whiff of just like, man, just a man, like sweating. I stuck my head in, and there was just bodies everywhere, and sweat and dust and plates all over, and this voice said to me, son, you need to train. I'm like, yeah, in my little squeaky voice. He's like, throw a couple of quid in that bag, son, get on with it. You need any help, give me a shout. And it was just, to me, they all look like giants. I'll never forget one of these guys says to me, what do you want to do, son? So I seen a picture of this Dorian Yates. I said, I want to be a bodybuilder. He grabbed me by the wrist and went, no chance, son. He said, your wrists are too skinny, you're never going to put no muscle on. I was like, shit, like that wouldn't, what am I going to do? This guy who looked like everyone else in that gym, carried a lot of muscle, he's just told me I'm not going to do it. Well, I remember being at school and teachers telling me I wasn't going to do something. I think that's what got me into some problems at school. And I thought, you know what, screw you, pal. Screw you, watch what I do. And my goal from that day forward was, I want to put as much muscle on as I can. So like I said, I fell in love with bodybuilding. Fast forward, end up in a relationship that wasn't healthy for me. Probably wasn't healthy for the both of us. End up being obese. So this whole getting big thing didn't stop with just putting muscle on. I then started getting a lot of body fat. But I think I found security in the fact that I was so big, because I was just way bigger and stronger than everybody else. And I mean, you can ask people in my gym what was he like when he was really big, and they're like, you wouldn't find no weights in the gym when he was training because he had them all. I know I was scary strong. But I also got really fat, hence I become 330 plus pounds obese. So I've gone from really thin, skinny child to a really thin teenager to a really thin, lean young man, which then put a lot of muscle on really quickly. And then before I know it, I'm now 300 plus pounds, 330 plus pounds obese. My life at a little bit of a, what should we say, sticky point, bit of a roadblock. Pretty much lost everything other than when my relationship broke down. And inside this relationship there was a little boy involved as well. He wasn't mine. And when I met this girl, the little boy was 1. We split up, he was coming up nearly 6. And she said, listen Ian, no, I'm not loving you no more. There was nothing nasty involved. It's just a relationship wasn't working. She said, listen Ian, he's not yours. I don't think you should see him no more. So literally, at that point, communications broke down. House got repossessed, car got repossessed, there was debt involved. Ended up, like I said, losing everything, my family, my home. The only thing I had left, I'd actually bought that gym the same year. Now I'd bought the gym obese. I did my club security, so the guy that I worked with, John, he was going to pick his wages up one night. He said, Ian, I'm selling the gym. I had no money, but I said to him, John, I want it. The strange thing about this is, I always said I was going to have a gym when I was younger. I remember at school teacher saying, what do you want to do? I was like, for some unknown reason, I want to own a gym. There used to be a Mazda car garage down near where I lived. And I always said, that's sure, and one day I'm going to open as a gym. Just out randomly. So yeah, John worked nightclub security with me. He said, I want to sell the gym. I said, I want to buy it. I had no money. Ended up blagging my way into buying this gym. A little help from my dad. And then, like I said, I bought the gym being obese. I mean, who does that? Who buys the gym being obese? 330 plus pounds when I bought this gym. And then my life went Pete, Tom and everything, went wrong. What could go wrong went wrong. And then I had a breakdown one day in front of the mirror next door. Stood there, pretty much stripped off to my boxer shorts, and I had an honest conversation with myself and was like, the mess you've got yourself in, you're going to have to put this right. And I went on this crazy weight loss journey. Lost over 115 pounds in 6-7 months. And it's snowballed into now helping transform other people. So my journey it's been a bizarre one, with what I've did with my body. All extremes, from one extreme to another, and from an extreme to an extreme. When I'd lost 115 pounds, I looked every bit of bodybuilder, so I was ripped. So you've seen the pictures. Yeah. But then that wasn't healthy. I found myself very lonely. I couldn't have a relationship. So again,
is that because you were just being so super strict with what you were eating and living like a monk kind of thing?
Yeah, because you don't give yourself any time for anybody else or anything else. Single, partying a lot. Training and the way I would live my lifestyle come before everything else. Mm-hmm. So it was from one extreme to another. For me, losing all that weight from being 330 plus pounds morbidly obese, I think like my BMI was 58 point something if you put me on the BMI chart, nearly 60. And then I was like single figure body fat. Now everyone told me I was going to have all this loose skin and you're never going to lose all this weight. And again, this little voice that Ian's always had of like, well, I want to show you that that's not true. And I end up single figure body fat, and that was extreme. And then as life does, it keeps moving forward, and then I progressed with helping others, and I realised within myself that I can't continue to live like this. If I want to be happy, then this has got to change. So as you see now, I've morphed into this healthy, happy, my relationship with food, my wife, my friends, that's all got to be on point. And I think that's where the fitness industry also lets people down as well, when they're saying, well, you've got to do this diet and train this many times, and everything's too rigid and strict. And I think the average person on the street, whenever they think about maybe he's getting a personal trainer or going to the gym, they think of that extreme side. Oh, well, I can't have this and I'm not allowed that, and I've got to do 5, 6, 7 days a week at the gym, and it's just, as you know, it's not true. It's not true.
So, just so people know, that noise, this is a working gym, that was someone coming in, wasn't it? And that's why you can hear little weights banging in the background. So that's
that buzzer was someone there.
For me, that's a good thing. It makes it feel,
well, it's really, like authentic. I said, I'm in the industry. This is what I do. I've had my gym for 22 years in January, so it's not like a lot of people now, especially online, they teach them from theory, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're very smart guys and girls, but they teach them from theory. Right, nothing I teach you from theory.
Some of them are half decent on there, and then some of them are just making it up as they go along, or reading from theory, and there's a place for that. But this gym, I think, is different. So we'll talk about that. And the reason I'm here is because I've been on a few podcasts before. I've presented a few podcasts.
Paul has a very successful podcast. Don't let him fool you.
And we wanted to kind of bring you out and kind of just say what you do for people, and what Ian's done for me is that you've changed my mindset. So my background was, I was a half decent cyclist as a kid, always kept myself fit, played football, and when I think about it now, I always carried too much body fat, which is a really strange thing. I've been light before, I've been down to in 11 stone 9 and things, which is lighter than I am now. And I was carrying
more body fat.
I was carrying body fat. Yeah, and I never really particularly built any muscle. I just became light and things like that. And I had this really, really strange relationship with food. I drank too much, and then all of a sudden, you know, over what seemed like all of a sudden, but was over a period of years, I started thinking, I don't have time to look after myself. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't deserve the time to take care of myself.
It's not everyone's story now.
It's everyone, because it's a society we live in. It's a
societal problem.
We've got these problems where people will just put themselves last, and for whatever reason they'll put their jobs first, and they'll put, you know, obviously like family matters and things like that. But they want you alive. They want you fit and healthy.
Yeah, I was just about to say family matters, but family only matters if you are here and present right now, and in the best version that you can be.
Yeah,
exactly. Not putting yourself laughing. No, we have these discussions.
So I came in as a 40. I was 40. I'd just gone 40, and it's just over a year ago. And what was I? 16 stone 9. 16 stone 9 when I came in.
40 plus waist.
It was nearly, that was like 39 waist. 39 waist, and over time, like my waist 26 at the minute, and I'm 12 stone 6, and I've been down, like, you know, we're fluctuating. I'm quite happy with where I am and stuff like that. But the big thing that you did for me, which was really, really different, was, and I wouldn't have done this on my own. What I kept on trying to do is I would go in and I would train like I used to when I was fit. I'd lost it, and I wouldn't accept where I was on any given day. So I would always compare myself to myself at my best or near to my best. And every time I did a workout, I was absolutely crippled by that idea that I wasn't as good as I used to be, and then I'd stop and I'd give up. But instead of that, you kind of just said, right, we're just going to do enough. And you trained me to do enough, and now my enough is huge, isn't it? Like what
you do right now is like crazy.
But it's only been a year to get.
This is a bigger societal problem, isn't it? That people are comparing themselves not just with their former selves, but they're comparing themselves with what they see now, and especially because I'm not blaming social media. It's just easy to have access to be able to do that. You know, everyone loves to it's social media's fault. It's not really. No, we still do it as adults. It's our responsibility, but it's easier to have access to that. And now it's a societal problem where we compare everything with everything. We compare ourselves to how we used to be. We compare ourselves with, you know, maybe it's our friends that seem more successful than we are. We compare ourselves with people online that we don't even know. You know, look at that perfect body without realising the truth of what goes on behind them perfect bodies, which is none of that's healthy, by the way. And all these perfect bodies you see inside the fitness industry, none of it's healthy. You know, because we talk about it. And
there's no such thing as a perfect body in the photoshopping and stuff. And that's another interesting thing, actually, I'd like to talk about from your gym's perspective. You'd think that, like, you know, when you walk into your gym, it's definitely a gym. It's almost old school in its feel. It's
very old school.
In its feel. Yeah. But then you come in and the people are diverse, and there's a lot of women train here. Like, a lot of women train here. And we never get any of that thing that you see on social media all the time, which is people being ogled, women feeling uncomfortable and stuff. And there will not be, for 1 second, anyone who feels embarrassed to come in and not know what to do. And there's always someone around who'll say, oh, you don't know what to do, I'll help you on that. And that's the kind of ethos that you've
know, it's strange, when I first bought the gym had a 6 month reduction on its rent, so it was on the verge of shutting down. And at the time, Fitness First was in town. Now, Fitness First were the biggest gym chain in the world, bar none. I remember someone had said to me, you will never ever get girls to train that gym because they want cardio machines and not weights. And again, that inner voice will say, oh, I'm going to show you that that's not true, because I knew then that everyone should have been working out. I mean, there's scientific literature now to say, like, the key to having amazing health and life now, especially as we age, is weight training. I knew that 22 years ago. And I told people this 22 years. I'm not just saying it now, I said this then. I didn't need no scientific paper to tell me that. I already understood that back then. So I said, no, women need to weight train just like men do. And the environment in this gym, as you know, the building's 100-year-old, maybe? Yeah. So it's a very old school feel when you come in, but you know yourself, we have a very modern and scientific thinking and outlook of what we do and how we do it. Someone said to me the other day, like, what's your gym like? I said, the gym's very old school. I said, imagine like sort of Gold's Gyms Venice 1970 odd. I said, but they're mixed with a very scientific and modern outlook on health and life and happiness.
A little bit like when Rocky goes to train with Apollo Creed, and he goes back to like Apollo Creed's gym, and it's just normal, and there's no there's no fuss.
No.
Everything's there, and the people are really like. I don't think they're friendly with Rocky at first. They give him a hard time. But like that's not what it's. Maybe it's not the best analogy. However, it's that kind of feel, where it's a proper gym, proper work.
As you know now, to join my fitness facility, I don't announce it as a gym. I don't compare it with any other gyms. I have a consultation with everyone. I had a consultation on Friday with a lady, and I said, literally, I meet everyone before they come in. I said, so like, if you do not fit in, you're not getting in, because I'm protecting my people, my gym family, I'm protecting the environment around them, I'm protecting the energy around them. And you have to remember, people that come here all want to be healthy and happier. So that's got to be protected. And again, and this is when I say what AMI fuck the fitness industry. Look what the fitness industry doing is it's creating. You take the big chain gym models. It's the exact opposite of what we were talking about.
Yeah, they don't want people to attend,
no,
do they? They want people to have memberships and don't come, whereas you want everyone to come, and you're like a bit like, that's the only time I've ever seen you really go hard on people. It's when they're not coming, they're not tracking the food, they're not tracking the calories.
No,
you'll tell them that they need to do that.
If they come and they tell me they are unhappy, and I say, listen, this is the blueprint, not just that I've used, but thousands of people have used over 22 years. From mums, dads, athletes, amateur athletes, professional athletes, former Olympians. I say, listen, this is the blueprint, this is what we do, this is what I would like you to do. As you know yourself, I do not tell no one, you must do this. You must do this, you must do that. I don't tell them that. I say, this is what I would like you to do if you want to go from here to here. But it's on you to do them things. Right, well, if you tell me you're unhappy, you're overweight, you want to lose weight, you're unfit, you want to improve your fitness, and I say, I would like you to do X, Y, and Z, and then you don't do it, right, as an adult you've just lied to me.
Yeah.
And now we've got problems. That's when I not so much lose my shit, but like my patience is tested, because they've told me one thing as an adult, and they're doing the exact opposite, and for us to ever make any progress that has to change.
Yeah. I think one of the things I think I learned as well was, if I have a day where I eat more and I do something more, just track it anyway. Just be honest with yourself. Just stick it in there and be like, I ate like 500 extra calories that I didn't need.
I think people, and this is part of the problem, isn't it? Again, part of the problem with the fitness industry, people are so up on diets. And we all have all these so-called industry experts, and all they harp on about is diets, workouts, diets, workouts, diets, workouts. And it's like, that isn't helping nobody. It's not helping general population.
And when you say diets, you don't mean like what people eat, you mean a specific diet, like whether that's the Atkins diet or whether that's like keto or whether that's like...
I think people have to understand that their eating habits are their own. As you found out, your eating habits are your own. I didn't tell you, Paul, you must eat like this. I said, listen, this is your energy requirements, Paul, for what you want to achieve. Your eating habits are your own to fit inside that. And we're not going to take you from where you are now, eating the way you are, and saying, right, we're going to go all the way over here. The trick is to say, right, Paul, understand your energy requirements, how you're eating now, fit them into your energy requirements, and then you know yourself, we all know, as adults, we should be probably making better choices. And I can guarantee, along them steps of that journey, as you've made progress, you yourself have thought, I can make a better choice than what I did, even though I fitted into my energy plan, my nutrition plan, call it whatever you want. You still knew that, well, I can actually do that a bit better. And if I want to get better, I should maybe do that a bit better.
Yeah. For me, like obviously my problem, as you know, was I'm a vegan, so my protein was really low, and I was
a vegan isn't a problem.
But the problem was...
Well, just to clear that up, because I don't want people to think like, I don't like this all...
Yeah, you never said don't be a vegan.
Type of methodology or ideology or...
But you did say your protein's low.
Yes.
Your protein's concerningly low, and that was what I needed to fix, and I found ways
I find that with
that.
vegans, with all vegans that have reached out and asked for help, is the protein levels are always low. No, and it's not helping with the health. No, it's not helping with, especially inside a gym environment, what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. And that was like a mindset change. So again, like everything you do is down to mindset. And as soon as I was thinking, okay, I need to look for protein, all of a sudden the rest of the stuff, I didn't feel that hungry anymore because I was just like, right, I was on the search for protein, and it almost became like, what protein can I eat? What protein can I eat? And I was full all the time.
But then I think, no, when you said like, no, what makes what you do different, I think it stems right back to the very first time we meet, the consultation.
Although I didn't have one.
Although you didn't have one.
The only one.
Paul's wife had a consultation for him and then signed him without him knowing. So
she's a good one.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But from that very first day we met, we started speaking, having conversation. So then I'm asking you questions, and when I'm asking you questions, I'm learning about you. I'm learning how you respond, Paul responded when I first met him, how he does now.
Yeah. Completely
different. But I also know, if I was to ask you a question now and you don't answer it in the same energy you normally would, then I would say, Paul, like, is anything up? No, are we feeling? Are we tired? No, so I pick up on all these things because of the conversations we have. There's too much emphasis put on working out, especially if you're a personal trainer, coach. Too much emphasis put on working out, and not enough emphasis put on the conversation whilst working out.
Yeah,
because there's none of this. We don't have to be in a gym, right, as a personal trainer, smashing people. Don't get me wrong, I'm fond of it. Just put that out there. I love hard work, really do. But in the right setting, the right context, it can be fun. But it was almost like, when I first started this whole personal training with people and the online thing come along, it was almost like it was frowned upon that a personal trainer would talk to his client while they were working out. It was almost like, well, you know, especially with some of these industry bigwigs, like, that person's paying you to train them. You shouldn't be talking to them whilst you're training them. And I was like, how are you ever going to get to know a person if you don't speak to them, you're not getting to know them? So that always sort of rubbed me up the wrong way. Like, you had these big names in the fitness industry saying that, like, these people are paying for your time. Count the reps for them and count the sets for them. And I was like, count the fucking reps and sets? I'm like, why would I do that? They're an adult. If I say, listen, I want you to do 10 of that, 15 of this, 20 of that, do that 3 times. As an adult, if I should do that, you should do it. I shouldn't have to be there to counter for you. But then, you know, the conversations, the time that frees up in between these sets, wherever we're doing, that's where we make real progress.
Yeah, and you've never, like, been, for me, and I don't know, like, I notice you are different for different people. But for me, you've never had to push me, because you know that I always want to do more, and I'm quite quiet about that. But I'll just, like, continue. I'll do what I need to do, and I always want to do more. I always want to do, like, heavier, or I always want to do more cardio, and I'll go and do, like, you know, massive bike rides and things like that. And you don't need to be screaming at me to do, like, 10 more or whatever.
When you've
I normally go
trained and coached people as long as where I have, you'll realise that because everybody is individually unique, that your approach to how you would train yourself, or the guys at boot camp, or my guys at man camp, or Fiona who come in at 50-year-old after losing a substantial amount of weight herself and then stalling.
And couldn't get out of the bath, and now leg presses too.
Couldn't get out of the bath. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, couldn't get out of the bath, and now she does dips of fun. And because you're all individuals, and the approach is going to be very individual. It's not what's it called, a cookie cutter plan.
One size fits all.
One size fits all type thing. And again, if I was to be that person that just sold a workout or just sold an exercise class. Take my boot camps for example. If I just sell an exercise class, it's just generic cookie cutter shit. Even the people inside my boot camp, I know individually what Nicola's capable of doing. I know Charlotte talks too much, don't put any Nicola. You know, and you know because you've been around them, like, so and then Sue's new, so like, right, got to focus on make sure Sue's doing.
Yeah, because the rest of them are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and again, like with me, you'll focus on, like, technique and things like that. And if my technique's ever shabby, just pick me up on it and make sure it's better for next time.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a conversation with one of my young guys on Thursday, Owen, and Owen's been with me now for 3 years, 4 years. And Owen came when he was, I think, was maybe 16, eating disorder. body dysmorphia, low self-confidence, low self-esteem, maybe he's a bit of depression, come for a consultation with his mum, so his mum brought him. And I said to him on Thursday, I said, "Oh, from day one, if I'd have let you just do something slightly wrong, you imagine where that wrong would have been now, today, 3-4 years down the line. So because we don't let that slightly wrong go, tweak that, put that right, stops it there and then. You imagine just like sort of being half-assed with it and letting it go.
Yeah, and it's where like people get injured and and then people are set back and whatever. But if people do get injured as well, like I was injured for a period of time, and we trained throughout, didn't we? Like
we did.
And like I broke my thumb.
Paul fell off his bike.
Yeah, I didn't get injured in the gym.
Yeah.
I fell off my bike, getting all excited. And
no, we still trained. I mean, what I said to you straight away was, listen, you fell off your bike, you're injured, but that's not setting us back. Look at the positives from that. What can we do? Well, you know what?
Yeah, what can you do?
So immediately
the mindset was flipped away from what can't I do, and now can't, because my wrist's in a cast. I can't do certain things, and I was thinking, I can't do all this stuff. Well, what can you do? Well, we can do legs.
Yeah.
And then they went absolutely bonkers, didn't they?
Yeah,
it's a mentality thing, isn't it?
Everything's mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it really boils down to it, everything is how we address our thing, how we address everything mentally.
Yeah.
Everything. Whether it's physical health, emotional health, mental health, whether it's eating habits, whether it's relationship, habits or things that are happening inside a relationship. You could come in and say, you're like, I'm going to get along with a wife, or and then
I never say that.
Not that you would never say that. But I'm saying you could come in and say, I'm having problems in my relationship, and I'm like, so what are you doing now that you weren't doing when you first met and everything was amazing? And they're like, we stopped doing this or stopped doing that. Well, that comes down to a mentality thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go back to doing it. Go back to doing them things. But it's because our mentality changes when almost like, when they say, I'm content, or I've got comfortable, like, to me that's a slippery slope when someone says I'm content or I'm comfortable. It's almost like, we're accepting that we should then not get no better. We should stay where we are. Well, the only problem with that is life and time ain't static. It's moving on.
It's that whole thing of like, if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards.
Yeah, it is, absolutely, yeah. And I think, if we just had the outlook of what can I do to constantly improve? What can I do to improve my physical health, my mental health, the health of my relationships, not just with your partner, but with food, with your outlook on life, with sleep, which massive problem, especially with people that are trying to lose weight. Don't get enough sleep. So if we had the mindset of what can I do just to keep improving, then if we all have that mindset, I 100% guarantee we'd all have a better quality life. Yeah. Across the board. And if we're always thinking that way, if we then always like glass half full and not half empty. Notice, I think as humans, our default setting is quite negative. I don't know if it's coming from being a hunter-gatherer type thing, where we were maybe always looking for danger. But I think as humans, our default set is quite negative. I think that's the glass half empty thing. Right? If we can just flip that, where what can we do to be better tomorrow? What can we do to make life better tomorrow? This life may have thrown a curveball at me, but what can I take out of that?
Yeah, this is me now
to move forward.
This is me now, and that's the reality, isn't it? And I think that's what you got me to do. You got me to accept reality. That was who I was now, because I was pretending I was something that I used to be.
Yep.
And then I accepted what I was now, and I've ended up being like kind of fitness-wise better than I've ever been. I think,
absolutely.
And today, like, the reason I'm a bit dishevelled is I've been to the velodrome.
Been to the velodrome on the bike.
Which is something I said I'd never do.
It's funny because you remember the conversation when I said, like, Paul, like, did you ever have a sport? And you're like, yeah, I did a bit of cycling. And you remember what you told me?
Yeah, that I'll never do it again. I had given up on the idea that I was ever going to do it. And now, like, I'm a qualified coach. I'm coaching kids regularly, and.
But you see how that boils back down to mindset. Do you remember what I said to you?
Yeah.
We'll see about that. When you said, I'm never going to cycle again.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we'll see about that.
And then.
Because I knew if we could get you fit and healthy, bring your body weight down, build your strength up, get your fitness back up. When you tell me you've got a passion for something and you love doing something, if you were in a physically better place to then be able to do that itch is there. It's gonna come back. But then when you're physically fit and healthy, your mindset, you think what it takes to become fit and healthy, your mindset, your mental health's got to improve. Yeah. No, when Dad told me, like, you're 14-year-old, just being expelled from school. No, wasn't big, wasn't clever. You're not getting out of this house until you've trained every day. Because training taught us, to have some self-respect, to have a routine. I guess working out sort of builds that mental toughness and resilience because you challenge yourself with heavy weights. Dad knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he's a good one, your dad, isn't he?
Yeah, Dad
big
knew what he was
inspiration
doing.
to you, and I'm sure that will come up in future episodes. So, from what I've gathered there, fuck the fitness industry is actually saying, all the things they're trying to sell you. So one of the things we talk about quite often in the gym is that people think there's a magic pill. So a lot of the time, since I've lost weight, looking better, and what have you, people say, oh, what have you done? Now that mixture of things, it's very, very interesting that people say, a lot of people, when I'm wearing baggy clothes, they'll say, have you got an eating disorder? Have you got anorexic? Because they think that might be a magic pill. And then when I'm wearing tighter clothes, they say, oh, are you taking something? Are you on steroids? Which again is like another idea of a magic pill that's just going to fix everything.
But yet,
and neither of those things are true.
The people they look up to on the internet, on Instagram, and are the people that take steroids, and then they'll throw their accusation at someone that they know, one of their friends or their family or a work colleague, and it's like, so it's a derogatory term aimed at your friends, but your idol that is all, this amazing physique, it's perfectly fine for them. You don't mention that whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's weird though, isn't it? But then I think it's a bigger, again, another societal problem is they look like they've got an eating disorder.
Well, there's a big problem there because you look at photos from the 70s and things like that, and I think I would probably be above average build. People would be thinking I would be the big guy.
Yeah.
And now they think
if you look at
I'm the skinny guy.
If you look pre-1980, you look at pictures pre-1980 when obesity just wasn't prevalent whatsoever. People were just normal, thin, not everyone worked out, but so there was no obesity. Where if we stuck you in now, who's the dude with the shoulders and the chest, the arms, could you work out? Yeah. Someone said you got an eating disorder.
Yeah, they think I'm too skinny and you've
lost
too much weight.
Nobody ever told me when I was 330 pounds, other than my sister, that told me I was fucking fat. Because we have this love-hate relationship. Nobody else told me. My sister told me. Nobody else told me. So did anybody tell you, Paul, no, you put a bit of weight on? Oh, Paul,
well, I do.
Your face looks a bit swollen today.
I do work with some kids who left me in no doubt that I was a big fat goth.
Isn't it funny though that in the bigger picture that people just they won't bring that up. It's almost like it's accepted. Well, you can be overweight, it's totally normal. But as soon as you lose weight, you've got an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Or are you taking some type of performance enhancing drug because you look good?
That was one of the more challenging things actually for me, was the way people reacted, and you're like, why do you keep on talking about how I look? I'm not even doing this for looks. I'm doing this for health reasons, and it kind of was a bit uncomfortable.
Well, again, because we have this this $1 billion industry that's pushed this superficial thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our faces 24/7. Is that you've got to look? If you work out, you've got to look like this.
Yeah, and we all end up looking completely different when you work out, because it's as unique as your face, isn't it? Your physiology.
Well, it's quite funny because there was a commercial gym on the marina. It was called Lifestyle Fitness, and they were the first commercial gym to sort of show up and then have 20 personal trainers in their gym. Now I know in that gym, them personal trainers used to call me the fat personal trainer. So after I was really fat and then I got really ripped, and then I met my wife and she fed me. So she made me sort of have high body fat levels. This group of trainers called me the fat personal trainer because I wasn't 6% body fat because I didn't have abs. So because I'm now just a normal guy, as in like, not a normal guy, as in, well, Ian's like now 11 stone, which might kill him, no. But because I'm now like 15% body fat, oh well, he's fat. Because if you look at people in the fitness industry, and the personal trainer's got the six packs out, and they're ripped and all the rest of it, it's that all false fake look that's pushed by a $1 billion industry to say, well, this is what fitness is about. It's not, is it?
And if you don't look like that,
and
then
if you don't look like that,
healthy.
then you're not fit and healthy.
And yet you see athletes, like obviously I'm into cycling, and none of them are looking like, they look totally different.
Yeah.
Or you get like, powerlifters who don't look like that. They don't.
The funny thing is now, I've never probably been this fit and healthy ever. And I'm not young no more. I mean, let's face facts, like another 4 years and I'm in my half century, so I'm not young. Right, well, I've never been this fit and healthy, ever. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like, best place I've ever been. Yeah, my body fat levels aren't the lowest I've ever been, nowhere near. But again, it's another problem with the fitness industry, isn't it? That we push this all, well, to be fit and healthy, you've got to look like a Baywatch babe.
It sells stuff, doesn't it? That's the thing, and that's another thing about being here. You're not here to sell people stuff. You're here primarily to help people. Obviously, you deserve to earn a living. You deserve to do well from life. That's fine. We all do.
Of course we do.
But that is not like that's doing it as a consequence of doing something good and helping people and making people's lives better.
If you can provide a service that brings value to others, then you will be paid handsomely for that. So I don't need to earn.
You should be paid handsomely for that.
You should be paid handsomely for. I think
not necessarily though.
No, not necessarily. But I think for the vast majority of that, if you can provide that for others, if you can bring value to others, you'll be paid for it. Especially if you're working for yourself. Different, I guess, inside organisations where you have structures and stuff that hold you back. But with myself and individuals that are in the fitness industry and they're self-employed, they're their own boss, they're company directors, whatever, if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're bringing value to people, I mean doing it for the real right reasons, then of course you should be paid handsomely for it. No, you know yourself, I give up a lot of time for other people. And it's funny because when COVID hit, or right before COVID hit, I would think nothing of putting 7 days a week in. So if you said in like, I can't train because now I only train clients mainly Monday to Thursday and I won't train on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Back then if you were saying, can I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I said, yeah, no problem. Not thinking like, well, what's Mrs. Glasgow planned for the weekend? I just like, yeah, we're doing it. And then COVID it and all of a sudden like the government comes on and just got bosh, like your gym's closed, like. And it made me reevaluate, how much time am I giving to everyone else? Is it really worth earning X amount to then lose X amount? Like we said at the beginning, like, family means everything. When you're there and you're present, you're healthy. So that, the old COVID thing made me reevaluate. And now I've got a nice balance, as in, I still get to be able to help people. I still have a lot of free time to do things that I want to do with people that I want to do them with, things that I enjoy doing. That's important. That's real health.
Yeah.
No, it's not to do with having a six pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with having a six pack.
Yeah, it's being mentally healthy as well as everything else.
But I think right now we've got a mental health crisis. Like, it's never been more important that we really admit, like, what does it take to be really fit and healthy across the board. Not just when we talk about being fit and healthy, you look at someone going, he's got muscles or he's got abs, or that babe's hot in a bikini, or no, when we talk about health now, it's like physically healthy, mentally healthy, across the board. Business, careers, families, relationships with nutrition and food, someone gone, coming, leaving. So I think across the board, when we talk about health and fitness, we should cover everything. And that's my approach, that I wouldn't want someone to go, look at me when I know mentally they're suffering. No, it's not important that you look a certain way if your mental health's getting left behind. I think that was one of the problems that I found, that when I was ripped, my mental health was getting left behind.
Yeah.
I think I was probably in a really bad spot. It's funny because my wife always says, like, when I met you I could see that you weren't happy. And yet, from the outside, I guess, looking at other than what she's seen, No, I had my own business, single guy, ripped, nice designer wardrobe, nice car. But now my mental health was being left behind because I put that all physique thing first. And again, no, because I don't teach from theory, I teach from experience. This was all meant to happen like this. No, I'm under no illusions that like these lessons were not there for me to learn from.
Yeah. So you talked about like all those different. You've got the mental aspect here. You got the physical aspect. You've got your nutrition aspect. I'm sure in future episodes you will talk about Gym Grill, which is a nice
new business,
nice little
side
venture.
venture.
Everyone should get themselves there because the food is absolutely amazing. It's been getting great reviews and it's all calorie checked and healthy, full of protein.
Yeah, I think there's been this big thing, hasn't there, since the government announced that we should put calorie totals and everything. I know there's been a bit of a backlash towards it, but my take on it is we've hit this point now where the majority of people in this country are overweight or obese. And you remember, I speak to people on a daily basis about their weight. And I can guarantee 9 times out of 10 if someone comes in asking about weight loss and I say, do you understand how weight loss works? They don't understand about energy. They don't understand about calories. Is it a good thing that then we can start teaching them about their own energy requirements and what calories are and how many calories are in this food or that food? I think it's a good thing. I don't think there's no negative connotations that we've put calorie totals on anything. I think if you're looking at something as, oh, we've put a calorie total on it, like that's going to cause someone to have an eating disorder, which I hear all the time. Like, that's not true. Because you put a calorie total on something does not cause an eating disorder. An ex-girlfriend of mine, very successful international athlete she was, had an eating disorder from being very young. That was like 25 plus years ago. It wasn't because there was no calorie totals or anything. There was mental health problems.
And it was the pressure on people to look a certain way or to do a certain thing or not understanding things. And I think like, you know, I know some people who've got eating disorders who can't eat like any food. You know, they really struggle, and calorie totals for them actually help them to try and hit certain things when they're getting healthier. But like, you know, information isn't what's causing the problem. It's our society that's causing the problems for them, and I feel absolutely terrible for those people who have got to help those people as well. You know, from the other side, don't you? Because a lot of people need to lose weight, and a lot of people need to just have a healthier relationship with food. Because like I would say, I had a eating disorder, drank too much, that kind of thing. In a way, because like I was just eating in a really erratic fashion.
Eating disorders are no longer just being anorexic and bulimic. Eating disorders now come in many fashions. Having a terrible relationship with food, looking at certain foods and saying I'm not allowed to like touch or go near that food group. Like,
yeah, and as much as mine was like I'm saying, an eating disorder, it's not a classified eating disorder, and people have real genuine problems. But I certainly had a ridiculous relationship with food, and I had some real mental problems about food.
It's funny, so my ex-girlfriend, when I found out that she had an eating disorder, it was always under control when she focused on knowing what she was eating. And she was one of the first to encourage me to more look at your overall calorie intake, because back then it was just be like, am I getting enough protein, I eat my workouts, I'm younger, my genetics has let me get away with certain things. And she said, no, you know what you should actually focus on, like, no, your overall calorie intake, how much fat you're taking in. And when she was doing that, she always had her eating disorder was always well under control when she was focusing on doing the right things. So like you said there, it actually helped. It actually helped her. Yeah.
And when it comes to eating sensibly and eating, you know, I would always try and eat barely anything, like under 1,000 calories a day, that kind of thing, and that kind of thing. And you've never ever said anything like that. It's always been a really healthy amount of calories, something that's really sustainable long term.
Well, it's like, again, so then the fitness industry talks about diets, doesn't it? You look at what are the fitness industry push, like we've seen them all from 500 calorie diets, 800 calorie diets. Like I think the NHS at one point were pushing an 800 calorie diet. It's insane. It's
completely unsustainable.
You taking
torture.
Well, you're taking obese people. I'll take myself as an example. If I was 330 pounds, I was polishing what, 10,000 calories a day off. Maybe let's just say fat eating was putting 10,000 calories a day in. and then NHS come along going, eat 800. Is that sustainable? I'm doing 10. The NHS have just told me to do 8. 10,800. 10,000. Is that sustainable? What if they just said, you know what, Ian, I was about to just cut back. Move a bit more, eat a little bit less. And the fitness industry hates that, by the way. Oh, move more, eat less. Guess what Fat Ian did to start losing weight? Moved more, ate a bit less.
I always remember you saying to me, what would you do with a dog? If a dog put on weight, you'd feed it less and you'd take it out for more walks.
You would? There's nobody can actually sit there and tell me that. That's not what they would do.
So you wouldn't be like, oh, I think I'm going to put it on a keto diet.
No.
I'm going to do intermittent fasting with my dog. You know, that's just preposterous, isn't it, when you think
crazy.
about it.
It's crazy, but again, no, boils back down to what do the fitness industry sell? What does the majority of the fitness industry sell?
Yeah, because there's always something along there, like, oh, this is keto, we'll sell you that, or this is like...
And again, it's everyone coming from an angle because they've got something to sell. It's money before people's health, it's money before people's happiness, because they think that money's going to make them happier, and I guess those that sell this type of junk probably haven't got a good relationship with themselves and think everything just comes around about, boils down to money, and money's going to make me happy, and with a little bit of life experience, we know that's not true. We all know people that have got a lot of money and they're not happy.
Yeah.
I've been involved in coaching programs with men. I was in a coaching program with some guys about 3 years ago, a bit longer, and one of the guys inside this program earned 200 million a year.
I don't think you can earn that much, to be honest, but you got it.
He had contracts with the US government. No, so this coaching program was for men around the world. And when he was asked, like, so what do you think I'm going to be this year? He said, money's not a problem with me, it'll be 200 million this year. He said, but I hate myself, I'm drinking every night, I'm smoking, I'm massively overweight, sleep in separate bedrooms with my wife, my relationship with my kids is terrible. He said, but no, from the outside looking in, be successful, nice home, plenty of money. He said, I'm not happy. I was just like, wow. And it's mad because inside this group that I was involved in, there was all types of men. Trainers, coaches, businessmen, plumbers, electricians, like roofers, joiners, very successful entrepreneurs, like there was all types then, and just to hear the different aspects from people, of why they were there and why they weren't happy, and it had nothing to do with money.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought, isn't it? Like
not saying being broke is going to make you happy. I'm
not
suggesting that.
It's going to make your life really, really difficult.
Hard,
but the idea of vast wealth isn't going to fix life.
A lot of these cookie cutter programs inside the fitness industry, it's all just about making fast money because people, I guess, believe that that's what they should be doing to get ahead.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I think average career lifespan of a personal trainer coach is about a year and a half. I'm sure the last time I checked some industry figures, that's what it was like. They don't last very long. Which is crazy, isn't it? Like you think now,
probably screaming at people and telling
we're living through
an
obesity crisis. We're living through a mental health crisis, and physical health and mental health should really go together. They do go together. So we've got more gyms than ever before, more personal trainers than ever before, more nutritionists than ever before, and we're not making a dent in this obesity, mental health crisis. We're not making a dent in it at all. It's not slowing down, it's growing. Obesity's growing, mental health problems are growing. And yet we have access to all these gyms and trainers and nutritionists, and we've never had access to information like we have now, and we're still getting it wrong. For me, the fitness industry is letting people down when you look at the fact that we are not making no progress with obesity at all, none. And is that because we push diets and workouts instead of addressing people's underlying issues of their mindset, how they think, how they've come to have the habit set that they've got now? Because that habit set now drives their life now. And it's driving all their choices. And let's be honest, Fat Ian had a shitload of bad habits, didn't he? Otherwise, they wouldn't have ended up that way. Right, well, that was never going to be addressed by diets and workouts. It's being addressed by understanding my mental health, the way I was thinking, the habits that I'd created because of that, and then slowly but surely starting to change things, building new habits, not I'm just going to give this up or give that up, and then you have this massive void of space and time and you just choose even more bad habits. I was like, no, I've got to replace what I'm doing now with doing something else, and then keep on doing that slowly but surely.
Well, I think anyone who's been listening to this has probably got a load of tips for, maybe trying to change their own life in a lot of ways. So what else is going to be coming on this podcast? What are your plans for it?
Like I said, when I've listened to fitness review podcasts and they're very monotone and they talk about the same shit, I want this podcast to be very real, with real people. So I want to bring people on there who've got a real life story to tell. I don't just want got my industry celebrity friends on, like, not that I have celebrity friends because obviously I don't, but I don't just want to bring people on that like, oh, look at me. Now I've got this massive following on Instagram. I don't give a shit what following you've got. If you've got a story to tell, you transformed your life physically, mentally, being some really bad shit, and you got yourself in a really good place now. There's a massive story and massive lessons inside that you can then pass on to other people.
And then people will relate to that as well, won't they?
Of course they will.
Like, what you want to do, I suppose, is you're trying to connect with people who might be out there thinking, I can't do this, I can't have a healthier life.
Yeah, well, I tell people all the time, like, listen, like, I've been there, so, little story, other trainers that worked here, I was warming up one day on a cross trainer, and I had my headphones on. I actually didn't have no music or nothing playing. Some days, the gym is busy, I just put my headphones on, just to say, like, leave me alone, now I'm listening to someone. I'm on this cross trainer warming up, and these two girls are warming up. They're going to train with another trainer that was here. And I heard one of these girls say, these don't know nothing about being overweight. Well, quite clearly, I was on a cross trainer and she was on a bike facing me. And she's saying to my friends, these don't know nothing about being overweight in here. And I had to say it. So I just moved my headphone. I said, excuse me, I said, are you on about me? And she said, what? I said, I just heard you say, these know nothing about being overweight in here. I said, so you're talking about me? And she said, well, I'm just saying, like, no, obviously he's a person trains, like, he's a fit and healthy, like, what do you know about being overweight? So I had to stop what I was doing. And I gave him my phone and I said, who was that? And she went, no. So that's me. That's not you. I'm like, I'm pretty certain it's fucking me. Like, I know that's me, like, it's me. I said I was 330 pounds and I told her, listen, I've been this place, hit rock bottom, lost everything. Told her my story. That girl left, and within minutes of her leaving I got a message. Just want to apologise, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have judged you. I knew nothing about you. What an amazing story from where you've been, where you are now. And then she opened up about why she actually come to the gym, because she was going through some bad stuff. But she said, now I can relate to you because what you've just said, what you've been through.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of being here. So I think, like, the ethos of this gym, hopefully it comes across in the podcast and people will enjoy listening to it and people will get something out of it. So have you got anything like planned for the next episode, or is that going to be a big surprise?
I've got a few people have actually already reached out. There's a guy from America had reached out. He's actually involved in insurance of gyms and stuff. So he said he's got some great stories to tell us about from the insurance side of what's happening inside gyms. So I'm fairly certain he's got some good stories.
Okay.
There, but like I said, no real plans other than I want to bring real people on. I want to bring real people on that have got a real story to tell. And whether that's someone in the industry that's they do have a high profile because they've been through some real shit. Which a guy that I follow, actually I'm a paid subscriber in his business model. Been through a lot. Industry sort of turned their back on him a few years ago when he'd gone through a hard time. Sort of, he'd messed up a little.
Yeah.
Well, messed up can be big. But there was reasons and circumstances, not making no excuses, but there was reasons why it happened. And I think it's too easy for people to judge people and not be understanding, have no empathy towards what he was going through.
And throw them away.
Like this guy is one of the smartest people in the fitness industry, but he also comes across in a very humble manner, like the way he speaks. I was drawn to him because he's very softly spoken. If he doesn't know something, he just say, I don't know. No, I'll try
It's
and
a big
find
thing
out.
that, you know, and
Oh,
very few people.
I was listening to a lecture he done, and somebody asked him a question. He said, "Listen, I've got to be honest with you. I honestly don't know the answer to that. No, I'll sort of look into it and try and find out. But like, that's just what the answer." And I was like, take someone really smart just to be able to go. That's like above where I'm at right now. Like, or I just don't know. That's not my subject, or not something I've really looked into. And he was just open and honest with him. Like I said, I've seen what he went through. He'd been through an hard time. So people like that he's got a story to tell, would be great to have on the show. But I don't just want to bring people on because like, oh yeah, I've got a following.
Yeah.
Are there
You have the real stories here.
Well, I think if you're going to relate to people, are going to really relate to others, then the story's got to be real, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's no point bringing on just because like, oh, well, seeing this person on like this TV show, or that soap, or no, what would be the point in that? No, so we bring a reality TV star on, because now they've got a massive following because they need to work and they're like, yeah, look at me, and I was on some reality TV show. And what's your story? Oh well, yeah, like just like I work out and I'm ripped and oh, here we go. Yeah, it's that same shit, isn't it? Look at me, I'm ripped, I work out. So I don't want to be that. I want to bring real people on that have got real stories to tell that can really connect with people listening and watching.
So if people wanted to get in touch with you, if they had a story, how can they do that? Right.
If you go to the website, I believe it's FCK, would have to double check because it's all new. I'm sure my email address is on there. There's going to be some contact details on there.
We can put it in the description.
Yeah.
Put it in the description.
But FCK, I'm fairly certain that's where it is.
Or Twitter, anything like that?
No Twitter as of yet. Socials are also to be set up, but they will be there. I mean, you can find me at all my channels, Ian Glass Fitness.
Yeah.
No, that's me. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Ian Glass Fitness. Like I said, the podcast is going to be its own thing, so I'll have its own channels eventually set up.
Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Ian. I hope it's been a painless experience. The first one, you know, we did
good.
We did this to get you out, and I think your personality came out during the podcast, which is exactly what we want.
It is. We want people to be able to say, you know what, listen to that guy. Actually made a bit of sense. I'm gonna have a go at this. Like, if that guy was in that spot, like, if he can do it, I can do it. If Ian said like, well, he was overweight and he started moving a bit more, a bit less.
Yeah.
And my dog's overweight, and I'm overweight, so I'm gonna walk the dog and do a bit less and feed him a bit less. And listen, we're making progress, aren't we? And if we can help people, then helping others is always the right thing to do.
Brilliant. I think that message has come across loud and clear. This has been Fuck the Fitness Industry podcast number 1.
Yes.
Well done, we've done it.
Happy days.
Take care, and we'll see you all
next
again
time.
next time.